Hello everyone, Daniel here with Untitled Tattoos. I appreciate you all tuning in. I want to go ahead and I want to do a review here, and I want to try and be as quick and thorough as I can on this specific printer by TOEC. I'm not sure if that's the company name or the printer brand, but yeah, this is a tattoo stencil printer, a thermal printer, and I am a personal fan of this printer right here. Ever since I've gotten it, I've used Procreate to basically map out my stencils, and then I'm gonna go ahead, I'll actually demonstrate that here, but I've used Procreate to map out my stencils and I've sent them to this, printed them, put them on, and they've worked out great. I'm not a big fan of the old school method where you would kind of like print out a design on a paper and then draw that into a stencil paper. But again, to each their own. This is not by any means right or wrong. I just want to touch base on this specific printer itself. So upon getting the package, you're going to get this box here, and it has mini on the side. It just says TOEC on the side, and it has a graphic of the printer itself on the front here of the box. When you pull the box lid off, you're greeted with a nice bag here. As you can see, it's like a nice soft felt bag where the printer itself goes into, and I kind of like that. I use this a lot with it. This is awesome, so I appreciate them throwing that in there. So it in fact is compatible with Android. It comes with instructions on how to pair that as well. It comes with more instructions right here, as you can see, on how to basically connect and everything, how to set the paper. It is in English and in Chinese, if I'm correct. I'm not sure what language that other language is. Here's a foam felt that we can go ahead and remove. And under it comes the printer itself. You have a USB, and then you have the actual charging cable for it. So you would just go ahead and, standard. Just like a laptop charger, essentially, You can go ahead and plug that in as well to power the actual printer there. Now, this right here, if I'm correct, you can actually plug it into a computer, and you can actually send like files from a computer to it, if I'm correct as well. But don't quote me on that. Again, I could be wrong. Here is a USB drive that they also included, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Let me go ahead and pull the printer out so we can go ahead and take a look at that as well. So this is a printer. This is the back of it. You just have a DC14V in right there. Here is the top of it. Here's the front. And then here are the sides of it. That's where you go ahead and plug in the cable that came with it. And then here's your side, says TOEC, and then the bottom. And be careful with it. As you can see it right there. Let's go ahead and see if we can open it right here on camera as well for you all. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. This is an amazing printer. I love this printer. This is one of my best friends right here. Honestly, this printer is awesome. I highly recommend it to any and every tattooist here. As you can see, it has, I think, paper sizes right here to guide you, power, the Wi-Fi, feed paper, and I can't be too sure what that is, but all the instructions come with it, and that is what comes in the entire box. I just wanted to go ahead and take some time within this video, as well as since I'm going to be talking about the printer itself, to kind of show to you all up front, like I did with the CNC Q2 and XWE tattoo machines. I kind of bring them right up to the camera and show you them up close and personal, so that way people who are looking for a machine or who are looking for this specific machine can actually see it right here on video. Be sure to change the quality of the video to the highest quality that you can get it, so that way you can really see everything, all of the details. It has like a shiny finish, and this is just a beautiful machine here. I could even actually go ahead and, why not, just put it into the felt bag on camera for you all. It's very simple, and it fits nice and snug. Be careful when you put it down. As you can see, it's in there. And then you're gonna want to go ahead and grab that and just pull it close, and you're ready to go. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut back to where I'm gonna speak more about it. I'm gonna show you all the print on it as well. Let's go ahead and proceed with that. So let's say a client comes in and they're adamant they want this specific design. First thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna get a red outline going. As you can see, I'm using red because it's much easier to see within this specific design. This design is really dense with details. It has a lot of line work. So I went ahead and I used a red liner, and that liner is gonna be within my Procreate brush pack that I'm currently developing. It is gonna be free for tattooists to use to create their stencils. This specific liner, if I'm correct, was done with the traditional liner at a specific fixed size. Now, I want to go ahead and proceed to kind of walk through the process. The client came in with this specific design. I used this specific color and liner to make the whole design tattooable into something that this would actually read. If you were to send it out and try and print it, it's not going to read anything. If I'm correct, you would want to turn this red into a black. Either way, we're going to go ahead and do that. So you'd want to change that to a black. As you can see that we have it right here. At this point, you would want to go ahead and simply click the wrench up here and then click the share tab and then export that as a PNG. From that point forward, you are now ready to go ahead and pair these together to actually print the stencil to put onto the client. Now, I mean, the process again is very straightforward. Granted that you're using the iPad within Procreate, you have the Apple Pencil, and then the printer as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna be using Spirit paper for this demonstration right here. I'll go ahead and do a full review on this as well. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this middle part right here in between the paper, and then we're gonna go ahead and just kind of get rid of that because we don't need it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the actual printer right here. I'll go ahead and throw in another video here and try and do a side-by-side while I'm setting this up and show you all the printer itself so you can kind of see some of it. I'll maybe even open it on the inside. And it's a thermal printer. I'll go ahead and put more details in the description and where I got it as well, which is why I'm not going to talk too much about the specs. I kind of like to show you all the performance of it. Don't forget about orientation. If your design should be a specific way, like if the client wants to drag in facing left or right, you're going to have to go ahead and reverse it. And then let's say if it contains numbers or letters, you're going to have to go ahead and flip it prior to printing, because if not, the letters and numbers are going to come out backwards. So let's say, for example, the client wanted this to come out exactly like this, facing the left way. When we apply the stencil to wherever we're going to apply it to, I'm going to need to go ahead and I'm going to need to face this dragon to the right. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to hit this little tool right here. Bear with me. And then I'm going to hit the little orientation mode and I'm going to flip it. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. And now we're ready to pair these two. Pairing this specific printer is super easy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into my settings. I'm going to go into the Wi-Fi area, and then you're going to want to go ahead and search for networks under Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and then it's going to disconnect from your current network and it's going to connect to this specific printer, as you can see right here. And then once it pops back up, we're now paired and connected. Now you're going to want to go ahead and download the application. It's in the App Store as well. And it's called TOEC Printer. You can just type in TOEC into the App Store and you'll be able to find this app. Before I do anything, I go ahead and I select search, and I always do this before, and then I kind of just double tap that there, tap that, and it is officially paired. If I go ahead and apply this into the actual feed here, I'm going to go ahead and go to photo. I'm going to select that dragon design that the client just brought in. Now you also want to remember this here. Now this is a good point. You see how it's right here? So that's going to be a very small, dense design. If we go ahead and go back to the camera roll and we select edit, we can also flip it. And if I'm correct, that should translate. If not, it's as simple as going back to Procreate and adjusting. So there we go. Now we have more of the design mapped out here as opposed to in that small dense square. This would be a lot more appropriate in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and print it that way. From this point forward, you would want to go ahead and simply hit print. And it's gonna go ahead and connect to the printer and send the data. And there we go. As you all can hear, it's very, very quiet. I wanted to go ahead and give that a moment of silence there. It's very, very quiet. It doesn't sound like it's overworking. It's a very seamless machine in my professional opinion. It is definitely worth the buy, or a machine of such is definitely worth the investment long term, because it's just a lot easier on your hand. It gives you a lot more energy upon doing the tattoo. It's just, you will be a lot better off in my, again, professional opinion. So we're gonna want to go ahead and let it finish cycling here. And again, it's very quiet. It'll feed the data. Let's go ahead and reveal it. There you guys have it. Like, that's awesome. Sorry, I was kind of staring at that and trying to talk to it at the same time. But look how dense that is. You can see it right through the paper. Let's go ahead and peel it back and let's see how dark it got in there. And I'm going to show it up close for you all. That is a solid stencil. That is a beautiful stencil. This stencil can definitely be applied to a large part of the body, whether it's the chest or maybe even wrapping around the entire forearm or something like that. It just, you know, to each their own. But that's amazing. It came out great. The printer itself is awesome. I love this printer. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else that I can actually say about it, much so show you all what it does. I think it's a great investment. I think if you're trying to save some time and energy upon your tattooing, I think that this is definitely the way to go. Long story short, it is worth it. I highly, highly recommend it to any tattooist and every tattooist. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this one to a silicone skin as well, and the chances of you seeing this in a time-lapse video are very, very great. Again, if I left anything out, please feel free to drop that in the comments down below. Like, if you wanted to know something specific that I didn't touch base on, drop it in the comments down below. Again, I'll do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. Oh yes, I also want to point out one thing. Let's say if you didn't have an iPad, let's say if you get designs from like Pinterest, some already made designs, or if you have a custom artist that already makes the designs for you and you have them in a PNG format. Typically the chances of that happening are great. You can also, if I'm correct, use an iPhone. If I'm correct, I actually done it from an iPhone as well and printed a stencil, and you can go ahead and resize with different, you know, resizing apps and stuff like that, because you can download iPhone applications that will allow you to create a canvas of this size to import data onto, you know, whether it be the design that your artist drew, to send to this to print. So it is possible to do this on an iDevice. However, this is a seamless printer. It does work. As you can see, it printed it just fine. Yet again, if you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comment section. I also have social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under Daniel Yuck. Be sure to give me a follow, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell for me, as I will bring more videos like this. Yet again, thank you for tuning in this long. Y'all have a great day.